Hi, Kevin Coop here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy, coming to you this morning from Austin, Texas, home of the South by Southwest, conference festival. It is unbelievable what goes on in this city. I mean, it is just enveloped by everything that's going on here, where you have people from business and politics and commerce and technology all coming together, and with everybody's eyes looking at the future. And I think that's really important. You know, it's hard to imagine most of the people that I've seen here and talked to here ever being willing to accept the status quo when it comes to the way people conduct business and commerce and the way they think people are going to want to shop. No, they have their eyes firmly focused on how things are going to be in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, although it may happen faster than that, simply because there's so much brain power here. And I find that amazingly heartening, that there's that much enthusiasm and passion and forward-looking brain power, taking all kind of concentrated in one place for these few days. You know, and it's fascinating. This is a place where, you know, it's not just young technologists that you've never heard of before, but it's also, you know, Beto O'Rourke, Amy Klobuchar, Kara Swisher, Scott Galloway, people like that who are coming here to talk about where the world is going. But the amazing thing is, sometimes I look at some of the young people, sometimes not so young people, who are huddled in a bar or in a coffee shop exchanging ideas, and I think to myself, you know, some of these young people who we never heard of, they may change the world more than some of the big name politicians and big name business people who are going to be here. And I find that heartening as well. And one of the reasons I came here is I'm doing a couple of podcasts for Retail Tomorrow that are going to be available on the Retail Tomorrow site as well as on Morning Newsbeat in coming days. And in one of those podcasts, when we were talking about the idea of a frictionless marketplace actually kind of shifting into becoming a fluid marketplace, it was a really, really interesting conversation. I want to tease a little bit because they made a couple of interesting points. One of the comments came from Marie Chevrier of Sampler. And the thing she said that I thought was so smart is that she said that she thinks most companies, retailers as well as brands, should have customer engagement departments. And basically these departments, their job would solely be to make sure that the business is engaging with the customer and the customer is engaging back. Really, really smart. And basically this customer engagement department would cut across all the silos that might exist in businesses and make sure everybody's focused on engaging with the customer. And again, making sure the customer is engaging back. Really, really smart thing to say. The other thing I wanted to tell you about was a comment from Nancy Giordano of the Play Big Consultancy. And one of the things she said, and it was great because it sounded kind of familiar to me, is she said, we have to stop thinking about retail as a place. We have to start thinking about retail as a verb. Well, that sounds familiar to me, right? Because I always say to compete is a verb, but she's saying something different, which is, and again, it's focused on the notion of engagement. Then engagement cuts both ways, right? Retailers and brands have to engage with customers. Customers have to engage back. That does not require a place. It requires a culture. It requires an attitude. It requires a mindset that goes beyond just the way things are. It's the way things, not even necessarily the way things ought to be, but it's definitely the direction in which the world is going. And that is incredibly important for retailers and brands to acknowledge now and start to act on now. Because if you wait too long, well, eventually you're not going to be relevant. You're not going to be resonant. You're probably just going to be obsolete. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning, coming to you from Austin, Texas. Sorry for the truck, but I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas, site of South by Southwest. So it's on my mind, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.